Hey everyone, welcome to CocoBooks. I'm Ava, and I'm 17 years old. Unfortunately, I haven't been talking to my family for a while now. When they call me, I don't answer their phones. I'll explain why in a moment, but I want you to tell me who. Do you think is right, me or them? My mom and dad started dating when they began university. Mom got pregnant unexpectedly and under pressure from their families. They got married at a young age, soon after I was born. Since both of them were still students, naturally they didn't have the time or financial means to take care of me. My mom's parents said they could take care of me. However, at that time, they lived on the other side of the country. Using this as an excuse, my parents never came to visit me. Because of this, I started calling my grandmother mom and my grandfather dad. I first saw my mom and dad when I was 6 years old. When I learned they were coming, I couldn't sleep from excitement. Until then, we had only talked on the phone. I was so curious about them. Was my mom's hair long or short? Did my dad wear glasses from now on? Would I call them mom and dad? I had so many childish questions like these that I barely made it to morning. I remember the moment I saw them very clearly. My mom immediately hugged me, while my dad just patted my hair, saying, "You've gotten so big." When they were leaving, I thought they would take me with them, that I would finally live with them, but they had no such intention. They told my grandmother, "Eva is so happy with you. Let us work and get our situation together for a while. Then we'll take her with us at the first opportunity." But somehow, that opportunity never came. 4 years passed, and I had already given up hope on them. One night, unfortunately, we suddenly lost my grandmother. My mom and dad came, and after the funeral, they placed my grandfather in a nursing home and took me with them by necessity. After a while, I understood why they hadn't wanted me all these years. There was a biological connection between us, but since they had never spent time with me, we had no emotional bond. That's why neither I felt close to them, nor they to me. We lived in the same house, but we were strangers to each other. They hardly ever talked to me. Before long, I started feeling like a refugee. I even had trouble calling them mom and dad, because it didn't come from my heart. This went on for 2 years. I wasn't happy at all. I missed my grandmother and grandfather so much. Today, I accidentally noticed that my mom's belly was noticeably big. When my mom saw me looking at her belly with surprised eyes, she said, "You're going to have a little brother soon." When I learned this, I was very upset. Can you believe it? My mom hadn't even told me she was pregnant. I realized once again that I wasn't valued in that house. When my brother Ethan was born, everything got even worse, because I saw what loving parents they actually were. My mom quit her job to be able to give all her time to my brother. Even though my dad came home very tired in the evenings, he played with Ethan for hours, and I could see that he really enjoyed it. On weekends, they left the house in the morning to take him around and came back in the evening. Of course, they didn't take me with them. When my mom was leaving the house, she would give me tasks like I put Ethan's clothes in the washing machine, wash them and then dry them, iron your dad's shirts. Normally, I would have done all of these gladly, but her only communicating with me for household chores made me very sad. Fortunately, I wasn't alone. I could at least share my problems with my best friend Brooke. If it weren't for her, I couldn't have endured it. Since their house was close to ours, whenever I felt bad, I would go to her. Even though I constantly told the same things, she always listened to me with interest. When I cried, she would stroke my hair without saying a word, and this made me feel incredibly good. During that period, Brooke did me an amazing favor. I'm still grateful to her for this. Since her father worked in the foreign service, they had to move to another country. But Brooke didn't want to go with them. Her family arranged a boarding school for her. Brooke asked me, "Would you like to study at boarding school with me?" This was a very good idea, but I didn't know what my parents would say. Actually, I also suspected that they would jump at this idea. Indeed, that's exactly what happened. When I told my mom and dad, they looked at each other. They were very happy about this news, but they tried not to show it. My dad said, "Since you want it, of course you can go." My mom just nodded, barely hiding her smile. Since I knew them well enough by now, I wasn't upset by their reactions. On the contrary, I was happy to be rid of them. Boarding school suddenly changed my life. Our school was in the forest, and I was very peaceful now. Brooke and I would take long walks. At that time, TikTok was just starting to be heard about. It wasn't as popular as it is now. Brooke and I opened a channel together. We constantly shot and posted new videos during our walks in the forest. We didn't miss any popular trend. Our follower base gradually increased. There was only one problem. Most people at school looked down on us when they heard about TikTok. Brooke unfortunately cared about these things too. While I was used to this kind of thing from my family, now I was the one comforting her instead of Brooke comforting me. So we continued making videos. As TikTok became more popular, we started reaching more people. The best part was that after a while, brands started taking TikTok seriously and we started getting collaboration offers. At first, they gave very low fees. Over time, the prices increased. I was now earning money regularly, and this gave me incredible confidence. With the money I earned, I would be able to go to university when school finished. Brooke and I had become serious TikTok influencers. A television channel messaged us saying they wanted to do a news story about us. When the school gave permission, we accepted. In the news, they referred to us as high schoolers who got rich from TikTok because during the interview, when the reporter asked, "How much do you earn from TikTok?" Brooke jokingly said, "Let's not answer that, but we definitely earn much. Much more than our fathers." We laughed it off during filming, but this sentence later caused very important changes in my life. Even though it was broadcast on a small channel, my dad saw the news. Since I moved to boarding school, my mom only texted me once a month asking, "Is everything okay?" And I would reply, "It's okay." All communication was limited to this. My dad never called me, but as soon as he saw the news on television, he immediately called me. "Is what your friend said true? Are you really making that much money from TikTok?" He asked. "I make some money," I said. I was angry that he was calling me about money. My dad said, "How much are you earning? You're not 18 yet. You need to. Give me that money. I'm your father." Of course, I couldn't stand it. "So now that you learned I have money, you remembered you're my father." "I once thought you were my father too, but you taught me that you're actually not," I said and hung up on him. He called many times, but I didn't answer. Then my mom started calling. Of course, I couldn't answer her either. They sent me a lot of messages. They shamelessly kept talking about money. Normally, I could have sent them all the money I had, but I was extremely annoyed by them chasing after my money like this. And I swore not to give them even a penny. That night, Brooke and I researched on the internet. According to what we read, if I lived with my family, my parents would have the right to take all the money I earned. But when I don't live in the same house, then the decision is left to the judge's discretion. That is, if the judge is convinced parents can't touch their children's money. The next day, my dad came to my school. But there was a surprise waiting for him. I wasn't at school. I had anticipated that he might do such a thing, so Brooke and I got up early in the morning and left school. Brooke's father had arranged a lawyer appointment for us. We went to the lawyer's office and I told her everything. She also told me, "You were actually raised by your grandmother and grandfather. If you live with your grandfather again, your mom and dad can't touch you because, as far as I understand, the only thing your parents are interested in right now is your money. When we prove this in court, the judge will decide on you again. Then you'll live with your grandfather and no one can claim your money." That's exactly what happened. Lawyer Miss Fiona saved me from my money-hungry family. Now they can't touch me. With some of the money I earned, I bought a beautiful house where my grandfather and I can live together. But when I moved there, I had to leave boarding school. Of course, so Brooke moved in with us too. We go to a new school together. By the way, I'm sure you're wondering about our TikTok account, but for legal reasons, I can't share this with you. I can only give you one hint. My grandfather has been appearing frequently in our videos lately. Thank you for listening. I'm reminding you of my question from the beginning. Who do you think is right? Me or my mom and dad? Please write in the comments.